Recording in progress. Let me change my shirt. Ryan Menard. All right, I'm syncing this shit. All right.
Is it still the same? Is it still on the same file, or I don't want to send them over that track? What I'm trying to say.
No, this is a new one. That's why we stopped and we restarted. Okay. All right, take 8. All right. Please introduce Eclipser to our subscribers. Hi, I'm Christian Beaupre, guitar player in the Eclipser.
Hi, I'm Ryan Menard, guitar and vocals.
Fucking nailed it. What is the meaning behind the band name?
So basically, the meaning behind the band name is just as the name kind of suggests, to make dark with, to obscure, Eclipser, to eclipse.
So I'm not one of the original members, so I don't know did you start? Did you figure out the band name before you started playing with Chris?
No, yeah, actually, it was almost like Chris and I started jamming, and we kind of we were trying shit out, and we were trying out different styles, like playing styles and all that. And when we started to develop kind of the sound that would one day become this sound that we're working with now, that's where kind of came with the name. Same time that we came up with the sound. So it was like we were jamming, Chris and I, the drummer, for a couple months, jammed with other musicians, things like that. And then when we kind of started with a clean slate, it had become Eclipser at that point.
And how far into the actual jamming with Chris did that take?
That's probably a little under a year. We had worked with a couple of different musicians, a couple of different guitarists, bass players, and things like that. And then when I finally kind of narrowed down the writing approach that I wanted to use, that's where I think it was around 2017. So yeah, probably close to a year in of jamming together, where we had officially become Eclipser.
I joined the band. You guys were how long into this? Like, how much time were you into this?
Probably close to a year. Yeah.
Close to a year, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so at that time because I remember you had a fucking back catalog of songs that you were just like, fuck it, I don't want to touch that.
Yeah.
Let's work on this. And then, so there was already you had already evolved into this with a bunch of other, even some of the stuff was sounded nothing like this.
Yeah, yeah, and that's we started off and we had the little demo, and then started stockpiling songs a little bit, and that's where we started. That's where we tried out you, and that's where we had the mournful and stuff like that. And
yeah, as soon as I walked into Chris's house, you guys were playing that song "Mournful." I was like, yeah, okay, that's. Just that song from outside, I was just like, I fucking love these riffs. Don't shit the bed when you do this audition. I brought I didn't even have a 7-string too. That's I just showed up and I was just like, here's one of my stupid songs, and you guys were like, oh, okay. When are you gonna get a 7-string? I'm like tomorrow. And I did.
Nailed it, and you get confidence. Oh shit, frozen. There we are.
Well, yeah,
Back with you. Yeah,
comes from being
nailed it.
It comes from being fucking old.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you know what? You walked in there like you fucking own the place, and the kid just, you just whipped out a few riffs, and
But the kid's old, right? So he's like, I don't
the
care.
kid's an old kid.
The kid's an old kid. The kid just goes like, if I fail, I fail. Whatever, I still have a fucking place where I can take a shit with the door closed.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rest is history. You were, from there was, pretty much.
As they say, the rest is a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan. Since Ryan is like the main songwriter in the song, can you talk about the lyrics on this release?
Yeah. So the lyrics on this release are just mostly a lot of nihilistic philosophy, but it's also that sort of overarching sort of concept of pages and kind of you know what I mean, what happens to us when we read something profound and how we kind of change as human beings. And the idea was to kind of have that effect on the listener, you know what I mean. The idea was to have a highly philosophical, life-denying record that's supposed to basically just exude and emanate really bad vibes and really negative atmospheres. And but yeah, the lyrics for pages are highly nihilistic, and I would don't want to give it too much context. I would just encourage people to read it and check it out for themselves.
The lyrics on this album too, I appreciate the fact that you're not going for a fucking Shakespearean thee thou art thou kind of,
Yeah,
like that kind of old black metal kind of
yeah, we used a lot of like the old English and a lot of the type of lyrical content on the last record, because it was kind of like that alchemy feel throughout the record. And then the idea it completely, first record was highly religious, and then very alchemy was the kind of the theme and the concept, where this one is a lot more there's still that sort of religious undertone, but there's also but the record in its entirely nihil.
Yeah, it's very straight to the point. If you read the lyrics and you don't understand what the song is about, you can't even read the alphabet. Like it's the songs are straight to the point, and the lyrics are straight to the point.
Yeah.
And everything is kind of like,
yeah, not trying to be too too wordy or too overly poetic or anything like that. Just be real.
yeah. This is actually, you've worked before I joined the band. You guys already had your logo done by the same guy, right?
No, so we got our logo done by a guy called View from the Coffin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it's really just a sick ass design for the logo. It's really cool, very emblem like. And for all of our album work, for all of our T-shirts and merch and record sort of album covers, we worked with Misanthropic Art, who does amazing work. And yeah, we pretty much worked with him as soon as we started making designs.
Next question is like, do you think it's important to have a label deal?
I don't necessarily think it's important. It's funny, it helps. Obviously, it gives you exposure, and I think that's the main thing. And people can do that with or without record labels these days. I do think that a lot of the administrative and a lot of like the promotional work and stuff like that is a bit of a pain in the ass, and it would be ideal to have somebody take care of that stuff and back you. But they both have their pros and cons, independent and being signed.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a lot of people now going without and being quite successful. So I don't, they're not as important as they used to be. They used to be just a place where people would they'd get your they just fucking lend you money, and then you'd go out and you make your own record, and you'd spend 2 months in Belgium writing a record and recording, and it would cost a record label of $2 million to make. Then you gotta fucking pay them back. So what's the point?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you
Even
can record shit at home. We did most of this album. We recorded the drums at apartment 2. Then I tracked my guitars at home. Ryan tracked his guitars at home. We did dry tracks. We reamped them. We did dry tracks for bass. We reamped those. So we cut down. We even recorded the vocals on our own. So
we fucking made a little makeshift Jimmy rig of a little vocal booth in the basement in the gym, and just went ape shit on that for a good couple weeks straight, and banged out the vocals for the record.
Yeah, just fucking yelling at yoga mats downstairs.
That's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up. We do. So we pretty yoga. Yeah, we did. So we did exactly. We did all the guitars at home and all the vocals at home. We recorded the drums in studio at apartment 2 right before all this COVID shit hit the fan, and kept us busy working remotely and learning how to do this shit on our own. You know what I mean? Do it independently, and it's a little bit of trial and error, but I think it turned out all right.
We had no shows at all too. That were basically at one point our vocalist left, Frankie, so we decided we were going to do a new album anyways. So at that point it was just like, okay, well then let's just bang out some songs. So it's no point of doing shows. And we're still.
It's now, almost like right. The timing worked out. It was like we had a little kind of a lineup change from Pathos, 2 lineup changes. We got Seb, you know what I mean, and then I took over vocals, and it was also drums, and then the band since.
Okay. Have you had any epic fails during live performances? I mean, fuck, Jesus Christ.
Sometimes, yeah, you know what? Fucking thing, shit happens, man. Epic fails. I think we do all right.
I think we've held it together while things were falling apart.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes a guitarist or a vocalist, maybe sometimes they have a couple sips. And then sometimes
sometimes vocalist wraps fucking 4 cable turns around my headstock, and then we got to figure out which direction we need to unwind each other, and we fucking do it, and it looks like it's part of the show anyways.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a lot of bad sound during shows, and we're just like, I can't fucking hear you, and you're looking at me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, we'll figure it out.
It is what it is. Yeah, we do all right. I think we we roll with the punches pretty good as far as that shit's concerned. No epic fails so far.
No, because we cover our asses, because Chris plays with a click, and Chris is a super solid drummer. So that if you're somewhere else in the song, if you fuck up, that's your fault.
Yeah.
Because the drum is always on point the whole fucking show.
We always play live to a click. The drummer plays live with in-ears, and we just stay tight. That's the idea, and hopefully that way nobody's getting too fired up, getting too ahead of themselves, or playing too fast or anything like that. And so far so good.
Any new music that has impressed you?
you were saying earlier, you were digging the
Oh yeah, lately I don't know why, but I've been like anything that's Batushka, any fucking the good, the bad, the fucking vocalist, any of the 2, 3, 4, 5 Batushkas, I don't fucking know how many, but anything that every time I see Batushka, I listen to it, it's like I like this. It's just it sounds beefy and it's just got so much. I honestly I love the fact that I don't understand any of the words because it's basically at that point for me listening to it is all about the music.
yeah. It's its own language at that sense, in that sense, and they're almost a truly unique and interesting band, right? It's just a really cool sound. I'm anything new, any new music. I don't know. We enjoyed the latest Napalm Death record.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Fucking killer. But yeah, a lot of not too much new stuff, that kind of that impresses you. It's like I find myself always going back and listening to the oldies and shit like that. I got a few bands that I would consider to be the upper echelon of extreme music, and then from there it's like just go back to listening to the oldies, man.
I actually got really into Death Atlas by Cattle Decapitation this week.
Yep. Yeah, you weren't sold at first, but they came around. It's that's a fucking incredible album too.
It's actually what's great about that album is
Great
that
production.
yeah, but also like they're not trying to milk a riff on this album. The stuff that I didn't like before, it's almost like they've just basically made it into like every song is like one shot and you're like, whoa, that was something.
Yeah, it's real potent shit.
Yeah. It hits you right in the duodenum.
Yeah.
How do you feel the COVID-19 pandemic will affect the music scene? Let's be honest. Everybody, no, actually no, because everybody shit their pants and they're all panicking and all this nonsense. And now we're almost at a point in Canada where everybody's almost vaccinated. Shit's gonna be open before September. I think everything's just gonna go back to normal. To be honest, it's the new flu, and it is what it is. And we're lucky that some of the best music venues, live music venues in our city, managed to stay open anyways. When everything reopens, Mavericks is gonna be open, so we'll be fine. It's fucking like it's going to be a non-issue. We're going to talk about it in a couple of years from now as if it didn't even fucking happen.
People forget when it when the time comes, and yeah, it'll be just business as usual, I'm sure.
Yeah. Actually, this ties in really well with the next question. Can you tell us a little bit about your local music scene? There's a lot of bands and there's not enough venues. Ottawa is one of those places where you'll get bands coming in from like anywhere. You get bands coming in from Europe. They'll play a shitty little venue in Ottawa, and they'll be like, "Wow, these opening bands were really good."
There's a lot of talent in Ottawa. The music scene, isn't as appreciated as you might find in like surrounding areas like Toronto and Montreal, where there's a little more dense population, a little more appreciation for music, whereas Ottawa has this government, real squeaky clean government town vibe, where it kind of like you have the counterculture to that, and you have the like I said, there's a lot of talent in this city, but it almost seems like there's not enough venues, there's not enough
that's the number one problem. There's not enough venues. Ottawa can be described as the city that has too many bands, not enough venues.
Oh yeah, but there's some sick bands from around here, and overall a pretty small community as far as the music scene goes. See the same faces and a lot of people running the shows and stuff like that, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. Our future plans. So when we recorded this, we did 10 songs, and we basically split it in two. So this will be Eclipser Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2. Epic, 4 hours of music, fucking Beatles covers on the next album.
None of that. You know what? It's a matter of kind of like short records. We're gonna pump out EPs. You know, keep developing our sound. Keep doing what we do. But yeah, we have another one in the chamber, and I've written an additional record. So always busy, always writing. We like to put out sort of cohesive timepieces. We want to like one feel, one concept, short record, you know, just beat you over the head with a few really strong songs, and then move on to the next. Keep writing, keep working.
This is it.
That's it.
Okay, have a good day.
Is that the last question?
Yep.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.